Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode 110 of the Retro Gamers Podcast, both audio and visual. Larry here.
And Anthony here.
And what's going on? Where are you?
I know, it's been a while since I've been on location, so to speak.
Honestly, right?
So I am coming from the wonderful and fabulous and very mature Las Vegas.
Of course. What would go on in Las Vegas that people would not want to talk about?
Oh, absolutely. Well, you know what? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? That was the old the old adage. But I would like to amend that. Okay. What happens in Vegas goes on social media.
Yeah, no doubt. Nowadays,
because my friends have been posting every single picture we've taken under the sun to Facebook since we've arrived.
I saw. Yep, I saw you.
I'm sure you did.
I saw you throwing back that. What was that? A mojito, whatever it was.
Oh, I didn't even drink it.
Oh, no. Oh, and the aura has been removed, folks.
See, everything looks good in pictures because it's a still image.
Son of a gun. Oh, I thought you were getting just lambasted over there. All righty.
If I was getting lambasted, I wouldn't be up at 7 a.m. recording this.
This is true.
Which is what we're doing on a Saturday morning.
What hotel are you at? Or casino?
I'm staying at the MGM Grand, home of where the Conor McGregor Khabib fiasco went last weekend.
Oh, is that MGM? Yeah, probably.
I believe it was.
Yeah. Oh boy, any leftovers there?
No, sadly, I looked.
What a debacle. And you can hear a little bit about that on the Yin and the Yang podcast. And speaking of which, yes, last week, did a little bit of a splitsy. I was at New York Comic Con. And
yes, you were.
And I just want to say this much. I know mine was only a little part, and then you and Anthony Chu from the Yin and Yang podcast pretty much took over the show, which is good. And Anthony Chu, thank you very much for filling in.
Yes, thanks. That was fun.
Absolutely. Great topic, great show. And I just want to kind of pull the curtain back and say to you, Anthony, you did a tremendous job on that video footage that I took from New York Comic Con, because truly, I have no idea what I was doing. I kind of just threw you stuff, and you just made gold out of it. So truly, I mean this. Awesome work. Very good stuff. And thank you very much for making some gold out of garbage.
Nah, no problem. Living in Los Angeles in the Hollywood area for 13 years, and that's what I have to show for it.
No, it's all good stuff. So throw it on your resume.
It will go on there, and but I will say though that I have the highlight of last week's episode, or should I say I guess the show stealer was Anthony Chu's head.
Yeah, that filled up a lot of the screen. Look, I've done that too. I get it, but I'm used to looking at me, and yeah, when I saw all of this area right here, all right, well, hey, look. The man's got a big head. What could we say? But we love him, and
yes, we do.
He's doing good stuff. So check that show out every Friday. And I'll do one more little plug, then we'll get into our show. If you want to hear some more of the, more not adult, but beyond PG, what we do here, tune in to the Better Half podcast coming up from when this drops next Wednesday.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah, next Wednesday. Okay. You'll hear some more stuff about New York Comic Con with me, a little more in detail, and my run-in with a certain hate group that was allowed to stand outside Comic Con, and they heard me mention some stuff about them. So tune in. That was interesting.
Was it? Wait. Is this the Larry Mormon Haters Club?
No. They have they're online. That's a social media campaign. No,
okay.
No, these were people who just hated everybody. So, and we're allowed to be there, but they didn't like what I had to say. So, anyway, tune in. It's funny. It's a short story. Is what it is. But speaking of hating, because every time I go to Vegas, I hate when I leave because my wallet is so much lighter than when I get there. I'm sure you've been doing some gambling.
I have been.
All right, good. What's your go-to game?
Are we talking table or slots?
Let's start with table.
Table, I do love poker. Okay. I love playing. I love playing poker tournaments.
Okay.
Because basically it's a little bit more of control. Because you know what, I don't have unlimited cash flow, so poker tournaments are nice because it's just a flat fee to enter, and then they play it like the tournaments you see on TV, just at a much lower, more affordable level. Those are really fun.
All right, cool. And slot machine, what's your go-to?
Ooh, lately I'm a sucker because the themed slot machines are usually the ones that pay out the least, but obviously they're the biggest and more bombastic, and they're they relate to you in some way in terms of nostalgia. So I hit up anything I see that's like from a TV show or a movie that I love. So like last night at New York Casino, I found a Buffy the Vampire Slayer slot machine.
Oh, all right.
Which was first time I ever saw it. It ate my 20 very quickly.
They do.
It did, but then the Goonie slot machine gave me 15 back, so I was very happy.
I played a Caddyshack slot machine that just every time you won, you had to go for "It's all right," just start dancing there. The thing.
That's awesome.
So I
actually saw really quickly a small slot machine kind of hiding in a corner somewhere for Airplane.
Really?
Yes. And I couldn't play it because the person wouldn't get up.
Let me guess. The person was north of 90.
No, younger. I would say maybe 83.
Okay, wow, that's a young whippersnapper for those type of slot machines.
Exactly.
Was the autopilot there?
Yes, the autopilot was there.
Fantastic. So these are games that we play. I like to I like to play a game called Let It Ride for the tables.
I do like Let It Ride also.
A game that
it sucks. You lose a lot of money.
Any game I play end up losing money, but at least you're there longer than normal because you can really stretch out your losing the way it's played. 3 bets and you can always take 2 back. So that's my go-to table, except for the very Vegas vacation when I see War as a table game.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. That's just a terrible game.
They have that at the Borgata in Atlantic City. It's hysterical. And then
it's brainless, though.
That's the whole idea of it, especially 2 o'clock in the morning when you're hammered and you just don't really want to put much thought effort into it. And then slot machine, really, I kind of like the more patriotic one. It's fun to play, like the red, white, and blue ones. They're normal, quarter slot machines, straight up one-arm bandits. Nothing major to it, just fun to do. Now, that's us, as we are both way north of 30, that we're allowed to play these games for real. But when we were younger, the only way we got to experience losing money, slight depression, and maybe seeing some very wonderful-looking cocktail waitresses was through video games. And we're going to we're going to see what we can do here with talking about gambling, Las Vegas, a casino. That's what I was looking for. Casino video games. What do you remember about casino video games?
What's funny is the first thing I remember is now as an adult who is in his waning, or should I say waxing years of the 30s. They're ending too soon.
I'm right behind you, don't worry.
Yeah, exactly. But what I remember about casino video games was the first thing, looking back on them now as an adult, I'm like, they do know that these systems were catered to children, right? Because why would you make games that talk about gambling money and gambling away your money when these games are supposed to be sold to like 8, 9, and 10-year-olds? That's the first thing I look back. Second thing is I don't care because I love them. But what I remember was just the whole mystique of like, oh look, I can win a ton of money playing these games, and then it just it kind of prepped me for going to casinos as an adult, with the exception of you win a lot of money in the video games. Not so much when you go to the tables
here. Not so much. And in the video game, when it's game over, you lose all your money. All right, hit reset. Let's start over. I've tried hitting reset. It don't work. The casinos don't like that.
No, my wallet doesn't magically fill up with the money that I just lost. So, although that would be cool.
That would be awesome.
I'll go see if I can find David Copperfield. He can do that for me.
So do you remember any games specific? Well, let me say this. What's probably your earliest memory of a casino game? Because I feel like, and I can't pinpoint a title, even though I'm sure it's probably just called Casino, I could have sworn I remember playing a game on the Atari. that may have had a casino aspect.
Yeah, there was a game on the Atari 2600 that I remember. It was simply called Slot Machine.
Oh, maybe that's the one I'm thinking of.
And you put the card. If I'm remembering correctly, there were two games. Actually, now a second one popped in my head. There was one called Slot Machine, and you put the cartridge in, and it literally it was just a slot machine would pop up, and then you would press the button and it would spin, and that was it. I don't remember there even being like a score or like money that you would lose.
Oh,
it was just like
okay.
It was just a bunch of like spinning wheels, so to speak. Even though I don't even remember the wheels that much, it was just it was almost like the icons would blink on and off.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
as they switched.
Look, for Atari back then, it was all the rage. So.
Yep, and then the other game, which you actually named the title of, I believe it was called Casino. Mm-hmm. I think it had 3 or 4 casino games on it, and I think they were all card related. I can't remember exactly, but I do remember that one as well. So,
you know what? It's funny because as if we don't have things that we can use to look this up. Yes, a Casino on the Atari 26. You're exactly right, Ant. It was just very straightforward. Basically, all it was card game. Looked like it was mostly poker,
blackjack,
if not blackjack. Okay. Maybe just different iterations.
Right, that makes sense though, because it was very limited in what it could do.
Yeah, but the slot machine, which again it was called Slot Machine for Atari, actually was a little more detailed. Actually, there was a score, but again, very limited. It looked like it was just mostly cars were the images, and it did kind of just roll around and kind of just put us in our place at that point. But it was very interesting, very cool. So those are the earliest games you may remember. What's the first one you really, really like got into playing? What's like the first one you remember?
Well, the first one that I really remember was on the Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES, or NES, or whatever the hell you want to call it. And I remember very clearly because I actually will still go back and play this game. And I have it in a complete box at home still today. It's one of those, but it was called Casino Kid.
All right.
Do you remember Casino Kid?
I remember seeing it. I never played it. I honestly, I can't remember. I feel like I bought a copy recently, but I can't remember.
Well, it's not terribly expensive to pick up even today. I think you can get it complete for like maybe $15 or $20.
Yeah, no, it's not expensive. The box cover. I don't remember if you showed it a couple weeks ago when we were doing our.
I may not have.
The box definitely brought. It was very bright, very vibrant. Just a lot happening on the box. And do you remember specifically like was there like one game on there? Yeah, like. Or not even, not just the gameplay, but was there like one casino game that really you kept going back to over and over again?
Well, in that game there were only 2. So there were only 2 games. You either played blackjack or you played poker, which was specifically 5-card stud.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, but the way that they had set it up, it was really interesting. So, and there was a little backstory because the name of the town or casino that you were in, or the city that you were in, was called Lost Wages. Which makes sense. But the idea behind it was you went to different tables. So they had it set up where you're walking a casino floor, and you would walk up to different tables to play blackjack, but you had to do them in a certain order because each blackjack table only had a certain amount of money that you could win from it.
Oh, okay.
So each dealer was only set up with a certain amount. And and so, like, you would have to walk around the floor to try and find the right order of tables to complete. And it would start with, like, I think you started with, like, maybe, like, $500. And then you would go to a table where the dealer had $500. And then once you cleaned out that dealer was done.
Okay.
And then you moved on to another dealer. So I guess it was a way, like, to beat, they had set it up in a way so you can beat the game. It wasn't a never-ending game. So it was a little bit of a story. It's like the goal is to beat everybody in the game. And then for the poker side of things, there weren't tables set up for poker, but there were other people in the casino walking around, and you had to find them to play poker with them. But again, same story. You had to find them in the right order to defeat them. If you went to them out of order, they would just basically shoo you away. They would say, "Oh, get lost" or whatever. But then you would circle back to them to beat them, to beat them. And then at the very, very end of the game, whoever the last person was, after you've collected all the money in Vegas, you would play poker with the last person
Lost
who had
wages
the most money. Yep.
In Lost Wages.
What?
Not
In Lost
Vegas,
Wages.
in Lost Wages.
Sorry. Lost wages. You would play the last person who had the most money in the game, and then when you won it, you actually beat the game. So there was a way to beat the game.
Okay. Do you your trips to your trips to Japan? You may want to, when next time you go to Super Potato, because I know you did like this game. You've talked about it a lot. I know you have. You may want to find the Japanese version, because the Japanese version has more games.
Really?
Than the North American. So the Japanese version is called $1 Million Kid Moroshi no Teo Hen. I don't know. And there's 2 more games. So blackjack, 5-card draw. The Japanese version has slot machines and roulette.
Oh, really?
Also, because as we know, there are no copyright laws whatsoever practically in Japan. You do play in Las Vegas.
Nice.
And they actually use the actual Golden Nugget name for the casino.
Those people have no shame.
You can also fly between New York and Japan in the game.
Oh, that's kind of odd. Wait. You fly between New York and Japan but play in Las Vegas?
In the Japanese version, it's possible to travel to other casinos, like New York City and Japan, for airfare cost. So it's going to cost you.
Oh, that's funny.
Next time you go, you should definitely find this.
I'll definitely check it out. The other thing also I want to check out and find, and it was a rare grab, is the sequel, Casino Kid 2.
Yes, which actually, one of the few times where you don't really see this happen, where Casino Kid 2 was not released in Japan.
No, it was U.S. only, I believe.
Yeah, you never really saw that often.
No.
So Casino Kid definitely was a good one.
Yeah. Where do you go back to?
I remember playing on the Super Nintendo Vegas Stakes.
Vegas Stakes was on my list too, because that one I played all the time.
I played that so much, and what was awesome about it is, because with a lot of these games, once you start playing the actual casino game, there's really nothing to it. It's cards. If it's a slot machine, you probably just see a hand come up, hit a button, or the video poker, a hand come up. With Vegas Stakes, what was kind of cool, it was one of the few other games, I wouldn't say few, I don't know all of them, but one of the few other games I knew of that would take advantage of the Super Nintendo mouse that came with
that's
Mario
right,
Mini.
yeah.
Make it just a little bit easier. But I just remember Vegas Stakes just being so much fun. The graphics were awesome because it was Super Nintendo. There was a Game Boy version. Did I ever have the Game Boy? I don't think I had the Game Boy version, but it was a very, very good version. I actually got a lot of good praise on that one. And basically, with Vegas Stakes, you start off with $1,000. Your goal is to win $10 million. Basically, you lose all your money, the game's over. You do have friends in the game that you can play with. The Game Boy version did not have that one. And in what may be a very repetitive part when we talk about these games, because there's only so many casino games that you can put into one of these. But this one had blackjack, poker, craps, roulette, slot machines. The basics. That's pretty much all you need. The Super Nintendo had all 5 of those games. The Game Boy version only had 4. I forgot which one was omitted. I want to say craps, but I could be wrong on that one. What I also loved about Vegas Stakes is there was a I can never say this. Pickpocket in the game. So not only did you have to worry about losing your money at the tables, you also had to worry about losing your money from a jerk running around trying to steal your money.
Yeah. Well, no, it wasn't just a pickpocket, too. There were just people that you were able to talk to, and they would make different offers. You could, some of them needed help. Some of them, offered you, I forget what they offered you. And then, of course, there was the pickpocket. So they tried to add a little more flavor into the game by having you interact with other people.
And I just saw here, as much as I'd love to get my hands, it's weird. I haven't been able to find this. Not even a game on. I had a little trouble finding Vegas Stakes. If I can't find the physical copy, it is available on the Wii U Virtual Console.
Oh, that's interesting. And I don't know if you remember, but Vegas Stakes was a multiplayer game on the Super Nintendo. You can have up to 4 players.
Yeah.
Vegas Stakes. You would just take turns.
I don't remember that because I was an only child and really didn't have many friends coming over. But yes, thank you for reminding me. No, you're right. It was also that can make one of these gambling games, which you don't often see. I don't ever remember equating these casino games with multiplayer, which is weird. I don't know why. I always considered them one-player games.
Well, you know what? I mean, it's very limiting because, especially like, first off, you can't play poker in a multiplayer setting on these, on a retro console.
Everyone close your eyes.
Exactly. Everybody sees your cards. And actually in Vegas Stakes, you couldn't play poker in multiplayer for that specific reason. But then the other ones, like the other games in Vegas Stakes, like you are able to play with other players, which is really cool.
Yes. Another one, I just want to jump ahead real quick because I know you also enjoyed this game, but on a different console. I had on the N64, I had Golden Nugget 64.
Yes. And I had Golden Nugget for PlayStation.
Yes, and there is what I'll call a major difference, which we'll talk about in a moment.
It is a huge difference.
Which I didn't. I also didn't have PlayStation at the time. But I loved Golden Nugget 64. Obviously, we're a step up in graphics, we're a step up in generation. The N64. Yep. Again, though, just very straightforward. It's just the quality of games and the type of games. Now, since we're in a newer generation, there's going to be more games. And just to read off the list here, and Ant, let me know if any of these may have been different. I think they were the same between the N64 and the PlayStation. Okay. But you had your standards: blackjack, craps, 5-card draw, roulette, 7-card stud. One of the few times I remember that one making its debut. Yep. From ones I played. Video poker, Texas Hold'em, which Texas Hold'em, this whole era of like World Series of Poker and stuff like that, yep, I think brought Texas Hold'em. I don't even remember people talking about Texas Hold'em before, before.
No, in the 90s, like in the 90s. No, I don't remember anybody talking about
it. Big Six Wheel, which I'm always weird to play when I'm actually at there because I don't know, it's just odd.
I don't even understand it.
Mini Baccarat and slot machines.
Okay.
And what was cool about the slot machines, then even beyond those games, you have different slot machines, which kind of,
varied it up a bit.
Artificially makes the games even more because, slot machine's a slot machine. So
true.
Now, with those games, do you remember anything being... Again, I don't think there were any difference with the PlayStation as far as games.
Did you mention Pai Gow?
No, so I guess there was a difference maybe, yeah.
There was, I do remember Pai Gow poker in Golden Nugget. I believe on the PlayStation version, it was interesting because, first off, it was they had 16 games total.
Wow.
I don't remember if, I want to say, was Keno? Keno might have been on there.
Keno.
But Keno might have been on there. I don't think Bingo was, but Keno. I'm pretty sure Keno was. But the other thing about the PlayStation one, was that it was actually a 2-disc game.
Well, I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah, it was a 2-disc game.
Wow.
Yep. Well, for the reason you had mentioned earlier, that there was a significant difference between the two games, and God, you were about to say something.
No, a question. So, was it like what a lot of these multi-disc games on the PlayStation is, as you progress through the game, you have to switch the game out? In this one, was it the same thing, or just like, hey, I want to play this, what you're about to talk about, so that's disc 2?
I don't remember if the actual casino games were separated. Okay. I actually think both discs had all the casino games on it. The reason why it was a 2-disc game is because there was a special story mode on the PlayStation version, which took advantage of the CD-based, the CD of the game that Nintendo 64 couldn't do, and it was an actual I don't know if it was like a murder mystery, but it was like this big mystery going on while you're walking through the casino, Golden Nugget Casino, and it was full motion video, and they actually, they had live actors, playing the roles, including Adam West.
That's amazing.
From Batman.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So, and he played like this, he played this character who is trying to uncover this mystery that's going on in the game.
I'm gonna find the killer. How? I'm gonna win a poker tournament.
That is. Hey, you know what? Stranger things have happened.
How are you gonna know which guy's the killer? Well, if I beat someone and put a gun to my head, I'm gonna assume they're the killer.
Exactly.
Was he wearing a cape and cowl in the game?
He was not wearing a cape and cowl. He was wearing a very sleek black suit.
Oh, so he was so he's more Bruce Wayne than Batman.
Yeah, he was definitely more Bruce Wayne in it, but it was really interesting though because Adam West is Adam West.
Oh,
and in the game itself, like he would insert the Adam West humor, so it would just always make me laugh because there was always a little bit of corn going on during this mystery.
There's a little bit of corn. I love it. Adam West was awesome. He was so cool. He was so easy to just kind of not take himself seriously, and for a man who was so pigeonholed with being Batman, which he hated and kind of hurt his career for a while.
It really did for a long time, but you know what? Like you said, he at some point he embraced it, and he let it ride out throughout the rest of his career, and you know what? It really made him.
Oh, absolutely.
And it circled back because, I think without Batman, you never would have had Mayor Adam West in Family Guy.
Oh, 100%.
And then the 2 or 3 animated films that they did recently before he died. So
the two I think the only
they did 2 before he died, with him and Burt Ward getting back together.
Who's still, which Catwoman is still alive? Julie Newmar? Lee Merriweather.
Is it? I'm not sure which one is still.
One of them almost ran over my
Julie
friend in her little go-kart.
I thought it was Julie Newmar.
I think it's Julie Newmar. But Lee Merriweather was the one real quick at Chiller Theater, which we'll be at in a few weeks. A friend of mine, we were walking by the elevators because it's in a hotel. And so my friend just real quick had to tie his shoe, just so happened to be in front of an elevator. The doors open, and her little scooter thing, Lee Merriweather starts backing up and almost hits my friend.
Nice.
So he moves out of the way, and as she's backing up, like the Luigi death stare, she's shooting my friend this death stare as she's making her way to an autograph signing. I'm like, you almost got ran over by Catwoman.
He should have gone to the autograph signing to see if she remembered.
Not only run over by Catwoman, but by, in my opinion, not my favorite Catwoman. She was only Catwoman once.
Yeah, that's awesome though. So, it's a great story.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
But getting back to Golden Nugget, definitely it's one of those games. Also, like if you like casino games, you should play it. But even if you don't like casino games, just going back to play the Adam West mystery story is worth the price of admission alone.
I want to. You have no idea how bad now. I'm going to look for this and try and find it. Hopefully, it's inexpensive. So any other games, like any other, because we're starting to move on now, we're at N64, PlayStation, as we move forward, like, do you remember as the games updated themselves as far as generations, like the graphics are graphics, that's always going to be the same.
Yep.
But do you ever find a game or see like a major iteration change because they can take advantage of the system? Or it always just kind of bounce back to same old, same old?
Well, see, I think what happened after a while, though, is especially like I want to say after the PlayStation N64 era, and maybe it's because I was growing up and I turned 21 and everything changed. But to your point, what happened was poker tours started to show up on television, and as they started to show up on television, they gained popularity. Same thing happened in video games. So I wound up switching away from the standard casino games, and I moved over to poker games.
Okay.
And the one that I remember the most was I believe it was World Poker Tour. I want to say it was called World Poker Tour on the Xbox.
Like the official World Poker Tour, like the one that's on TV?
It might have. I believe it might have been not the World Series of Poker. The World
that's
Poker
what
Tour.
I'm thinking of. Okay.
Yeah, I think they're related to each other though. But it was called. I believe it was called World Poker Tour.
I think I remember what you're talking about on Xbox. Yeah.
Yeah, on Xbox. So I remember switching over to that because Texas Hold'em started to become a game that I was enjoying. And when it was legal, I believe it's legal again now. But I had started playing online poker, online Texas Hold'em.
I remember when that first came out. Oofa.
When that first came out, and to be honest with you, I didn't lose that much money playing it online. But I started playing it online with people around the world, and that was fun for a little while. But then I just started getting into Texas Hold'em in general, and I started playing it at casinos. So I naturally wanted to pick up a game, a video game version. But again, at that point, then it's not as fun anymore because you can do it in real life. So it's just to me, it's just two different things.
Agreed. So, like, just to piggyback on what you just said, and once we became of legal age to be able to actually physically now play these games, yeah, kind of the mystique, not the mystique, the fantasy of, like, being these high rollers, walking the casinos, making all this money became a reality that none of that was happening, unfortunately. Well, hopefully it happens for you this weekend. And then it's weird, almost like when Back to the Future 2. When October 21st, on October 20th, 2015, I was like, this movie's cool. It's still in the future. And then October 23rd, 2015, I'm like, all right. It's a great movie, but, the aura of the future is gone. And that kind of happened with these games. I mean, I still play, I play a game called Slingo, which is a very fun game. It's just like a quick
I used to love playing Slingo.
Slingo is awesome. It's a combination of slots and bingo. Definitely check it out when you can. Now it's just kind of like those quick fix mobile games on your mobile devices. So,
Wait, does Slingo still exist?
Oh, yeah.
On the computer?
Yeah, you can still find it. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, crap. I got to find that. I loved playing that.
Oh, Slingo's awesome. Slingo basically, like I said, you slot machine. They all run. And then like bingo, you start to match up numbers. And then you got the devil and the angel and all these things. Yeah. It's really, really fun. But I'm here on Long Island, so I got no gambling going on. But I know Ant is starting to itch to get down to the casino to start playing these games for real.
Yes, I am. But there was one thing I wanted to bring up before I start hitting up the casinos. Actually, a couple of things, and I wanted to just circle back really fast. From all my trips in Japan, something interesting that they did with their gambling, with gambling games, that we didn't have here, going all the way back to the Famicom. Actually, horse racing games were in abundance there, and we've talked about this briefly before. But again, the Famicom also boasted an online attachment, so you were able to play online and actually bet on real horse races on the original Famicom in Japan. But outside of that, they have so many horse racing games for all of the retro systems. It literally boggled my mind. I could not believe how many horse racing games there were, because it's like, how different could these be? But
yeah, and that's just pure randomness. There's really that's like no odds or anything. But yeah, the horse racing, I've always wanted to see what that looked like, especially with the real horse race betting that, like you mentioned, you can do online. Maybe we'll see that again. New Jersey, you're allowed to gamble online legally.
Mm-hmm. No, that's coming back now. I think the law that they had put in. One of the bills that passed years ago that outlawed online gaming. I believe they've overturned it.
Like for the country or for specific states?
No, I thought it was for the country.
Oh, I don't know, because I know New Jersey themselves. As long as you're in the state of New Jersey, because they'll track you.
I have to look it up. I don't look into these things that deeply, because if I want to gamble, I just drive to Vegas. So.
Yeah, you're not that far. What do you like?
No, exactly. But then just to close out the video games, like you were saying, one other thing that I wanted to bring up was one of the biggest gambles. One of the biggest, or I don't know if you want to call it a gambling game per se, but one of the biggest gambles that Nintendo lost out on was, of course, the gamble that was the Virtual Boy, which was a massive failure all over the world. All right, another week, another retro birthday, Larry. Yes. We're going into, and we're heavily into October now. Halloween is upon us very soon. So I thought we would do a special retro birthday for not necessarily, this isn't necessarily a horror game, but it's definitely kind of a more like gothic, dark adventure game. So I wanted to wish and I'm looking to another screen when I go because I have another computer sitting next to me over here in the hotel room. Leave it to me. I come to Las Vegas with 2 laptops.
Always thinking.
Yes. So I want to wish a very, very special 17th birthday to the original Devil May Cry. Now,
wow, 17.
Yeah, 17 years ago was the original Devil. Now, if you haven't played Devil May Cry, I have to say, it was one of the best action adventure platformer games I feel like I've ever played. Super fun, really cool. Dante, who's the main character, has this awesome sword, awesome powers. It's definitely a series, and it's a series that they've released multiple times on every. console since.
They're coming out with Devil May Cry 5. It's coming out. They're re-releasing the HD collection of the originals. And I feel like Devil May Cry it kind of came out at the beginning of the PlayStation 2. And it really was, to me, one of the games that helped continue put the PS2 on the map.
Yeah. Well, it was one of those games where it's like if you didn't own a PlayStation 2, you had to buy a PlayStation 2 because you needed to play Devil May Cry.
Absolutely.
Like you really did. It was like that game had that much of an impact. So, so anybody out there, if you've never picked up this game, there are many, many, many ways that you can on today's consoles. So a very happy 17th birthday to Devil May Cry, and that is this week's Retro Birthday.
All right, Ant. We both have some busy weekends coming up. Busy day today, so we're gonna do something a little special here.
Yes, I like special. Special is good.
Yes, absolutely. What we're gonna do
go
is
first?
Yeah, why not? Whatever. And you know what? Leave all this in. So what we're gonna do is right now, Anthony being at Las Vegas, also in Las Vegas, and Anthony we talked about it before, but now with the magic of YouTube that we're doing this, Anthony's gonna be visiting the Pinball Hall of Fame and a Gamer's Paradise, two locations and you did a little live stream from the Pinball Hall of Fame once before, but now we're gonna make this look good, especially with your talent now, yeah. So you're gonna do some film in there. You're gonna show really some details about the Pinball Hall of Fame and a Gamer's Paradise. I never actually seen. You never really did a live stream from there. So
no, I took images of that, but
pictures,
I would like to do a live stream inside the store. Question is whether or not they will let me. But if any, worst case scenario, I'll take pictures. But inside the Gamer's Paradise, they also have a mini arcade. So I'll be able to take I'll take some video of that as well. And again, also for the podcast people who just listen to us, we'll be talking about what's going on while we're or at least I will be while I'm in both places, so it'll be really interesting.
Yes, and I'm going to be heading over to Game On out there in Miller Place, Long Island. And again, now because of YouTube, I'm going to do some more. I've a very good friend of mine gave me some tips as to how to maybe film. I'm I'm more the audio guy, so I'm good with that. But wow, alrighty, well let's.
And on that note,
we're live, folks, to tape. So I'm going to go to Game On. I'm going to do some filming there. I'm going to see if hopefully it is busy for their sake. But if there's some downtime, I'm actually going to see if I can talk to the guys and gals at Game On, just to talk to them, get them on the podcast. They've done a lot with putting me in debt and trying to find a virtual boy, which hasn't happened. And because of the contest, they are
it's never going to happen.
Securing the fact that I'm not getting a virtual boy.
That is correct.
There is always hope. Maybe Anthony will find that one relic he's looking for in a Gamer's Paradise, and that will set him out of house and home.
I wouldn't hold your breath on that, especially when we're this close to the end of the year, because that contest is mine.
Holy crap! Yeah, we're in October. Good Lord.
Yes.
So now we're going to cut to we're going to go with Anthony first at Gamer's Paradise and the Pinball Hall of Fame. Then you'll see me at Game On. And for the audio, again, you'll listen to it, but this is one of the times we're going to have you go over to YouTube as well to check it out. And here we go. All right, so we're here at a Gamer's Paradise, which is the my recommended store for or retro gaming store for Las Vegas. So I've been here quite a few times before, so we're going to take a walk inside and take a look and see what they have. So one of the coolest things about a Gamer's Paradise is they actually have the entire history of the video game industry right here behind these glass cases. So you can basically see almost everything, including, I don't know if you know these Nintendo, Super Nintendo testers, but these were actually used by the company to test the games, which is really cool. And then you have the much maligned Virtual Boy that I always talk about. The Commodores, the Ataris, here's some Neo Geo, your Jaguar, and then the Magnavox Odyssey. So this is definitely a good place to stop by for not only shopping, but to see a little history of video games as well. And if you see over there, there is a Power Glove that is signed by Robert Englund. Now, for those of you who don't know, Robert Englund actually used the Power Glove in one of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare.
So on top of having a really awesome retro game store, they also have a small arcade attached next to it. And if you wanted to, you can actually purchase some of these. Like, for example, the Asteroids arcade machine here is $900, and it's the original Asteroids arcade. If I had a car I can fit that in, that would be coming home with me. Somebody's very happy that there's Tron. Hey Jamie, can we fit the Asteroids arcade in your car?
Yes.
I'll take
Yes,
it. I'll take it home with me.
Most definitely.
Thank you. Or House of the Dead for $1,000.
We don't need our suitcases, right?
No, we don't. We don't need the people either. And of course, an original Donkey Kong arcade, which is not for sale. And then, if you are into pinball, they actually have some pinball machines for sale as well. AC/DC, Simpsons. I have a friend, I think, who would stuff that Simpsons machine in his car if he could. You got some Demolition Man, Star Trek, Next Generation. So, definitely some cool stuff here. Anthony here in sunny Las Vegas, and we are at the Pinball Hall of Fame. You can see the sign kind of in the back over there. Not much to the building on the outside, but we're going to go inside and take a look at basically the history of pinball. They have a bunch of pinball machines dating all the way back to like the 30s and 40s.
So we're going to do a little ASMR here so you can hear the sounds of all of the pinball machines here at the Pinball Hall of Fame.
All right, so that, I don't know if you guys can hear me. Hopefully you can, because it's really loud in here, and I tried to find a good spot where it's a little bit quieter, but as you can see, they have pinball machines here from, I don't know, maybe from the 40s on, like I said earlier, and I took you through some of that just to show you the machines that they have, which is great. I really hope that you enjoyed walking through the Pinball Hall of Fame with me. This is Anthony from the Retro Gamers signing off.
All right, finally, holy cow, the owner of the store is going to kill me. So I'm finally set up here. Ant, thank you very much. Gamers Paradise, Pinball Hall of Fame looks amazing as always. Can't wait. But listen, when I come out to LA, if we have 8 hours round trip to kill, maybe I'll head out there as well if we have time during Survivor Series and everything. But I'm finally here at Game On here, Miller Place, Long Island. Also the Smithstown store as well, but we want to go to the Miller Place. And you saw some of the B-roll footage that I did. Again, Anthony's going to put his magic to it and make it look wonderful. But honestly, this is my go-to place. And this has been where, in my efforts to try and win a Virtual Boy during this contest, whoever buys the most retro video games loses the contest. So by me coming here, I am losing the contest. So Anthony's well on his way of getting a Virtual Boy. But I just wanted to finally come here, basically just broadcast from here, and we're going to have some, I'm going to see if we can maybe just for a few moments, see if we can have, if you're available, when you're available, for a moment, if you want.
I didn't know that. You didn't tell me this.
Pick up the mic, just real quick. For a few seconds. Look, you can see over there. So, ladies and gentlemen, right here, Tristan is the man who my credit cards absolutely loves.
Have all his money.
And the proprietor of Game On. Tristan, first of all, I want to say you were running a tremendous place here. I'm not just saying this.
Thank you.
I'm glad I found the joint. Everyone's glad they found this joint. And just real quick, your thoughts on this whole retro industry?
Jeez, Larry.
Besides putting bread and butter on your table.
No, it's never actually been about
No.
that. I don't know. I mean, I think that people just needed a spot to go.
Yeah.
And it just grew out of something so small.
Yep.
And now I'm just in love with it. I mean,
That's
I'm in
it.
love with just hanging out here and making sure everyone has a good time.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's cool. You know, you got the TurboGrafx set up. You got everything set up, Nintendo set up. And again, I just want to thank you. I want the world to finally know the man who my American Express loves. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. But thank you very much. You're running a wonderful thing and what you do for the community as well, everything that you do for
Thank
all
you.
the charities. Keep it going. Good luck with all this.
Thank you.
And again,
Appreciate it.
thank you for letting me stream the true Retro Gamer right here for the Retro Gamers podcast.
Of course.
No, but thank you very much.
course.
So thank
Are
you
you
for being
gonna
on the
play
show.
anything right now?
I'm
What are you gonna
going
do?
to. I'm gonna play my hand at some TurboGrafx in
Okay.
a little bit. I got some other stuff over there, and I probably will make a purchase or two. So,
Awesome.
all righty.
Thanks, man.
Thank you very much for everything. All right, so that's Tristan now off to do God's work. And with that, we're gonna actually let me see if I can. Mario, you want in for a few seconds? I got a buddy of mine here who also we're gonna look to get on the show here for a second. And look at all this stuff. I mean, this stuff is amazing. Well, we do this. I mean, just stuff is amazing. Here we go. Yeah, just watch your footing there.
Oh, Mike.
Yeah.
Testing.
Come on in. Come on in.
I'm coming in on that.
Yes, come on in. There we go.
How we doing?
All right.
Wow.
So, Mario here, a friend of mine for how long have we known each other?
19 years.
Very long time.
19 years.
You want me to do this? Do you feel more comfortable if I do this?
No, it's very uncomfortable. Am I too far from the mic?
You're good. You're good. Let's check the levels.
Well,
Always
here
check
we
the
are.
levels. So, your thoughts on retro gaming? What's your...
Well, this is something we both grew up with.
Yeah.
You know, it's weird to see it kind of back and as big as it's going to be. I guess these kind of things, anything that's collectible, people who are hobbyists, who did train sets and model making, I guess this was a natural extension of that, you know, toy collecting and whatnot. To see it at the level it's at, because it's huge, it's everywhere, it's unreal. That surprises me. I never thought I'd see that again. I remember a few years ago, I was kind of like, you know, I'm kind of sick of the new games. I think if I'm going to play any games at all, I'd rather play the stuff I grew up with.
Okay.
Like reading an old comic book.
Just doesn't go out of style.
It doesn't seem like it is. It seems like it's really nice to see younger people kind of do this.
Yeah.
Get into the games that we grew up with. It's a little strange because, like I said, we knew it when it was new. When it was like, wow, look at the graphics on this, and even though everything looks dated,
I'm going to do this.
yeah, thank you. Okay. It's a little too close, though. Can you keep it right here?
I know how to do this. I run my own network. I also need you to get in the shot a little bit more. Okay, good.
There we go. So, you look around and you see NES and Atari and all this stuff that it's nice to know that this stuff still has a life, and you know you want to grab onto it for at least the hardware as long as you can, because who knows how long it's going to last. Shocked, actually, that Sega Genesis games still run as good as they do. Atari games still run as good as they do. NES and the systems. I mean, minor refurbishments, but these systems still run. They're built for bear. You have PS3s and PS4s going dead on you. What does that say? You know, they built this stuff to last, and the games are just as good, just as fun to try to solve as they ever were. In fact, I would argue that they're far more difficult than a lot of games today, from what I could see. You know, you get a lot.
True. And, you know, you have here with you today, your kids are here with you today. What are their thoughts on, or what you see like when they're playing? Because I know you've introduced them to some of the games.
They definitely like some of this old school stuff. My younger one, she's definitely more interested in the Minecraft and the Sims and stuff, but they're having a good time with Tetris over there right now. They're having a good
Tetris, of all games.
They were having a good time with Tetris. They were playing Pac-Man before. My daughter was badgering me to find a Zapper game because, as you know, they don't really work.
They don't work on the new TVs anymore.
So I'm looking for Duck Hunt right now for her to try.
Oh, okay.
See how upset she gets when that dog laughs at her.
And now we know, due to Seth Rogen, that the second player controls the duck.
I did not know that.
And it's in the instruction.
5 freaking years, and I didn't know that.
I'm glad you listened to the show. We mentioned it a couple weeks ago. No, the second player
That part.
the second player controls the duck. Tristan, did you know that in Duck Hunt? It's in the. Do you have the manual? It's in the manual.
You have the game. This would be a good time to test.
It's in the manual. I'm telling you.
This would be a good time to test that.
Okay.
So keep in touch, okay?
All right, so we're here, Duck Hunt. We're going to see and put to the test the player 2 controlling the duck. Someone hit start. Okay, here we go. Mario's on. Wait.
That's not Mario. That's me. You're Mario, yeah.
Well, give him a moment to control the duck.
Yeah, wait.
Good Lord.
I wanted to make sure.
Trigger happy.
Oh, wait, yeah, it actually does work.
Oh, wait a minute. We have. Hold on, let me.
Yeah, look.
Okay.
It actually does work.
So here we go.
Go ahead. Go down. Go left, right.
Can you, like, hold down on it and he'll go down?
No, you just push one direction and they kind of go
All right.
your weight.
Would you stop
stay
firing
put.
for a moment, for God's sakes?
Yeah, you try it. I can hold it here.
You got a minute to control that thing, or I'm killing it.
It works, right?
A little bit.
It just yeah, you can't really change, like, the altitude, but it works.
No, yeah.
It works.
It does. It kind of
Yeah.
works. Here, Tristan, try it. You're not going to completely control.
Don't shoot me, okay?
Go. I'm not
Can't shoot me. I'm too fast.
See, you kind of you
work,
nudge
yeah.
him.
Oh, you can definitely.
It's more like you nudge. That is interesting.
Sucker.
See, yeah, look at that. Oh, you suck.
I'm terrible.
Dude, this say you can just...
I'm about to cheat and
I'm
just.
about to watch every time he shoots. I just watch his finger, and every time he's about to press it, I move it.
You know what you gotta do? That would be hilarious. You gotta hold the duck hunt.
Listen anyway.
You gotta hold
think
the
you're on
duck
an
hunt
angle, that's
tournament
why.
and then plug in the wireless
All right.
controller so nobody knows.
So,
And I apologize. I do remember you guys saying something.
don't cover it now. All right, cool. So, let the world know you actually have a wonderful blog, and you're doing your own thing right now. You want the world to know right now?
I've been doing a blog called The Rough Cut. It's all part of the same thing. I have a Periscope, too, that's part of The Rough Cut, and I just opened a channel on YouTube. I haven't recorded anything yet. Not quite ready for prime time yet, but we're just about there. I try to put out 2 or 3 blogs a week. Check it out. It's Rough Cut at WordPress. I don't remember the address, to be quite honest with you.
We'll link it.
You'll
Don't
link
worry.
it, don't worry about that. And I'll be putting a Periscope out probably Monday night. And slowly but surely we'll get it going. Larry will be a contributor, of course. So I was going to do a Periscope in here today, but I opted against it. I'd rather put more time and effort and help Larry with this out.
Sounds good. You want to give out your Twitter handle or anything? Or you still holding it?
No, I'll link it. I'll send you the link.
All right.
Because I don't have that shit memorized, to be quite honest. Forget my French.
All right. Timestamp this. So we're going to wrap this up here from Game On here in Miller Place. Let's watch your step there. Tristan as well. Tristan, get in there.
Am I on here?
We'll
wrap it up here.
Sweet. All right, we're getting kicked out. Folks, remember, check us out everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, Retro Gamers Podcast. The podcast drops every Tuesday, along with the video portion of it at our YouTube page. And Anthony, again, thank you very much for broadcasting from the Pinball Hall of Fame and a Gamer's Paradise in Las Vegas. And again, coming from Game On in Miller Place, Long Island, New York, this is Larry from the Retro Gamers saying see you right here next week.